Hello and welcome to the Rob and Blakey podcast. We're loud and clear on Welsh football, and I'm the former BBC Wales football correspondent, Rob Phillips, and as usual, I'm alongside the former Wales international and Premier League player, Nathan Blake. What's caught your eye this week, Nate?
Oh, I would say probably Mr. Mooney with the Wales Principality Stadium call, and also coming in this morning and meeting our great students.
Yeah, it's a bit different today because, yes, we've got an audience, otherwise you wouldn't be listening and watching.
Beyond the camera.
But behind the camera, we've got students from the University of South Wales Atrium, because as you know, we are brought to you with their valued support of the journalism and media courses. So hope they enjoy it. Hope they enjoy the endurance test. And obviously, we want you to tell your friends that we're available on all social media outlets, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, Threads. Watch us on YouTube and get us at all your usual podcast outlets.
And get yourself at USW next year. You could be working on the podcast.
Well, yeah, exactly. So we can highly recommend USW as a place for you to start your career.
You've got a chance.
Quite. And it's interesting you mentioned Noel Mooney, because I was at the briefing that the Football Association of Wales Chief Executive Noel Mooney gave this week. Some really interesting points came out of that. One is that Welsh football, as a participation sport, has pulled well clear of rugby now, which when you used to think Wales is a rugby country, forget all the problems that the WRU are having, but actually that says something.
I think we'd be one of the only countries in the world if it was. I think football is huge. I think probably back in the 90s, you might have said the rugby was bigger, because I don't think the Welsh Premier League was what it is today then. It didn't get the exposure then, and it does today. I played in the Welsh Cup. I mean, that was really good. Won it twice, go to Europe. That was a massive sort of draw as well. But I think I think you have to credit the FAW, right? Regardless of how you look at it. So I played in a day where things were still a bit ropey, right? In all quarters. You know, how you travelled, how you ate, where you slept, you know, how you trained, where you trained. Everything was not even shoestring sometimes. I'll be honest, it was embarrassing to come from some of the clubs we were playing for and then come down, and you're supposed to be going up a level to international, but it wasn't good, put it that way. But now, what the players are accustomed to, what they get, and over the last, say, 15, 20 years, what the FAW have been able to do and build, I think they've done an incredible job. I really do.
It's certainly come on from when I first started
we
covering
know, right,
you
Rob?
playing for Wales. Yeah, we do, and it's improved for everybody.
Yeah.
And part of the briefing was that they're looking to do much more for grassroots. It includes wellness as well, not just football.
Yeah.
Because I've said
Well, it's
international
important. Your
level,
mind is important. The mind in controls everything you do, right?
Yeah.
So if your mind is a little twisted, you're going to have a problem.
They're even going to have beekeeping at the
what?
FA Wales
I looked into
headquarters.
that. I looked into it last year. I'm thinking of where I live in Abergavenny. There's a beekeeping place where you can go and learn to keep bees. So that's funny. I've been thinking of that.
I think it's very sting in the tail, but it was. It's happening. But the big story, there were plenty of good stories, and actually we'll talk about possibility of moving to summer football for the domestic leagues, the Cymru Premier, etc. But the big topic of conversation was Noel Mooney saying that Wales will return to the Principality Stadium in the build-up to Euro 2028. Now, of course, Wales are one of the co-hosts in that tournament. And I think that is... I actually think that's a mixed blessing. I can understand why it's being done, For a start, they need test events to show that, it is capable. Wales will be one of the hosts. I think they're quietly confident that Wales will host the first game.
Yeah.
But to me, and this is where I get why it's being done. I'm for it. My reservation is this, and it's maybe something I anyone can get around. To me, a seminal moment in Welsh football was when Ashley Williams, with his Swansea City connections, may even been the Swansea captain at the time, he said, "This is our home," and he meant the Cardiff City Stadium.
Because he's a soldier. He's a proper dude. He's captain of Wales. He's been there, top of the game, and he knows what it entails. It's not just about your team and your players and your management. It's the whole package. So I understand when he said that, because they've had so much success there since that statement. They've gone on to have more success. Let's remember, Wales hadn't qualified for a tournament since 63?
No, 58.
58, sorry?
Yeah. Leighton James,
60-odd years, 63 years,
Leighton James would say 76 they actually qualified, because he used to talk to me all about it.
He did,
before.
yeah, I remember.
But UEFA say that was Wales' first qualification, Euro 2016, since 1958.
Yeah, so,
I'll get you off that one.
I understand it.
Yeah.
Right? And I agree completely. But if you're going to be playing... if you're going to be hosting a tournament and you're in the tournament and you're going to be playing the games possibly at the Millennium, or I call it the Millennium, Principality, then it makes sense, right, to go and start to, familiarise yourself with the surroundings. Because I always say, like, markings on the pitch, certain, seating, certain, advertising boards, they're all things that you take in as a player to know where you are on the pitch. Sounds crazy, but they are. So that's why, when a new team goes to a new ground, it kind of evens the scale for the away team, because you're both new. It takes some time to settle into a new stadium and call it your own. We had it at Bolton when we left Burnden Park. 97, 98, we're going into a brand new stadium. But we were saying, like, it's like playing away. For the first 4 months, we got relegated, but I think by a point or something like that. But it was like playing an away game for like a good few months. It was a lovely stadium, lovely pitch, beautiful in comparison to Burnden Park. But if you had said to us going into that season, where do you want to start, Burnden Park or the Reebok, we would have said Burnden Park.
Yeah, they played there once, Wales, in the last 14 years.
However, I will say that stadium does generate hell of an
because you won a playoff final there, didn't you, for Wolves?
Listen,
Sheffield United.
Yeah,
Sheffield United.
Yeah, Page, you still not forgive me. Sorry, but it was and Neil wore like that. So, no, but it was so. Norman Parcell, friend of ours, we speak about. He came to that game with other friends of mine, and he will tell you he's been there for Welsh games because he followed me most of my career, or all of my career. But he said that game, Wolves Sheffield United, he had never experienced an atmosphere like it's the best atmosphere he's personally experienced in football.
So we get it, don't we?
Norm has been in a lot of football for a long time.
And you scored half your goals, Wales goals at that stadium.
Yeah. Well, I scored an own goal there as well.
You did?
Yeah. First one. First competitive goal as well. Nice header with a bit of a bend on it. I'll teach you that one day.
Oh, thanks. So we think it has to happen.
It's almost like if it.
But interestingly, Noel Mooney actually, to give him his full due, he actually said Cardiff City Stadium is still our
home ground. Yeah, right. So so it's only because it's the tournament.
Yeah.
Right. What I would say is, imagine going into the tournament and you're one of the home nations and you'd never played at the stadium you're going to play at.
That's the point.
That would be ridiculous, right?
To quote him, he said, we need to be used to that stadium.
Absolutely.
Having not played there in a long time.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And they've lost their last, I think it's 5 games there. So it doesn't have... I think the vast majority of Welsh fans, leave alone, the Swansea.com, I think they had a really good crowd there for the friendly against Canada. There's no money also said about Wrexham increasing their capacity to 18,000. So big countries like Italy and Spain move their games around.
Yeah, I understand that, but they got far superior squads to us. And what I would say is what you got to be careful of as well is when you're moving these games around, these Nation League or competitive games, the rankings mean something. So you've got to think, if you're going to and this is not saying we don't want to go to Wrexham or Swansea, or you just got to think to yourself, what's the most important thing at the end of the day?
What gives you the most chance of winning a game?
Qualification to World Cups and European Championships, right? And what is best? Well, have a home stadium. I think that was part of Wales's problem for a long time. When I played there, it was the Principality for a long while. Then it wasn't. Then it was again. So, but you haven't got great memories.
No.
I remember.
You've got 74,000 for Azerbaijan.
Well, Russia. Yeah. We drew that game, right? Under Sparky.
Yeah.
Paul Bowden, the penalty miss. So, and then Cookie takes us to, the Euros in France, having done it at the Cardiff City Stadium, and then it becomes like this place where even the likes of the Swansea captain, Ashley Williams, ledge player, comes on and says, this is our home.
Yeah.
Because everyone understands you need a base, you need a home. It's so important. Yeah. Home field, in America they call it home field advantage, man. That's my American accent.
Is it? Really?
Yeah.
That's your American accent?
Yeah,
well, there we are.
I work on it.
I think we better quickly move on. We talked about Wrexham having an 18,000 capacity stadium.
You're going to beat me up now about Wrexham and you. Yeah, I can see the dribble going down your cheek because you're salivating.
No, if you go back to episode 1 and it's available on all your best podcast outlets, you will hear Nathan Blake predict Wrexham as a top 6 club. To be fair, the next week he sort of broadened it to top 6, top 8.
Yeah.
At the moment, they only have 2 clubs below them in the championship table, and 4 points from 5 games, no wins at home, having spent 30 million. Now, I'll give you my opinion first.
Yeah, please, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, please, give me your opinion.
I've seen stuff on the weekend. I'm astonished to see even hints of Wrexham maybe considering the position of Phil Parkinson, because you're sort of connected with social media, but actually it's things like that set the agenda. Well, because it's 5 games. And if I look, not seen Ollie Rathbone yet, not seen George Thomason, the former Bolton player yet. Joss Windass could be back this weekend.
Excuse me.
Not seen Dominic Hyam yet from Blackburn. So in other words, really, why panic this early?
No, I agree with you, but, at the same time, if you were writing as a reporter today for Wrexham, would you be saying, it's fine, just, let it sort of drift on? The society we live in today isn't like that. Everything's short term, everything's quick fix, everything is, no one's given what we would consider time to settle in. I remember when I was a player, you'd need to have a good season and a follow-up at least 6 months to get yourself a move. Now, players are seen in 5 games. Young player 18, I'll have him. Everything's short. Everything's a lot shorter. So I understand, but let me tell you a little story, right? So I went to Wrexham, Exeter Wrexham, I think it was, I done last year.
Yeah.
And before the game, I'm an observant guy, right? I try and take everything in, especially because I hadn't done many Wrexham games. I think it might be my first. And I was talking to a former player, I won't name names, but we were chatting away, and I was saying, what's the atmosphere like? Fans are brilliant, blah, blah, blah. And then they packed the Wrexham fans, the one end. It's only a small end, but it must have been a good 1,500.
Yeah.
They squeezed them in, right? They packed it. And this is before the players have even come and warmed up. we're in our seats, and Exeter, by the way, you could extend those chairs, by the way, but hey, in the commentary box. Phil Parkinson's out talking to different people, and then he goes over to clap the Wrexham fans. And honestly, I was astonished at the fact that there's probably 700, 800 of them in at the time. Probably 10, 20 of them, like, clapped him back. And I was like, oh, that's strange. So I said, what's going on there? I got him in, like, godlike status for what he's done. Oh, just not having the football he plays. A lot of the fans complain about the football, the style of football. So I was like, okay. Then I watched the game and I understood it. Because I always say, and this is not knocking Phil Parkinson, but football is about entertainment. You have to get it through your head that, yes, it's about winning, right? But it's about entertaining. And it's about, listen, these people go to work damn hard for their corn, and their release is going to football on Saturday. Now, most clubs do this sort of thing. Very few clubs do that.
Levels,
right.
sort of.
Yeah, we're brilliant all the time. Everyone has this dip, right?
Yeah.
Wrexham, in climbing and going forward, the football wasn't great. I watched it, and it was one game, I know, but it understood it. It said a lot of things why there seemed to be not a disconnect, but not an absolute sort of falling over themselves to love the manager for what he's done, right? Which I then understand, because I always say it's not just about winning. You have to entertain. You have to play. The idea is to play football to wow people. Why do we say, like, what gets bums off seats is that winger who can go past 4 or 5 people. That centre forward who volleys one from 25 yards.
I agree with you up to a point. The only thing I would say is this. Kiefer Moore has now got 6 in 6, right?
Yeah.
Including his goal against Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
I'm with you up to a point in that Wrexham have got a fairly simplistic style. Yes, when they want to, they can play.
They were just better than everybody. Physically, they were bigger, stronger, and they had a better squad. You go and signing League One players down in the National League, and then you do that every year. Keep yourselves better than everybody. What's happened is now you've signed Championship players for the Championship, and you're not better than everybody. You're as good as most, but not better than anybody. And you've not played in the league, and your manager and the coaching staff, I made this point after the first or second week, they might thought themselves our pre-season, our preparation, everything we've done is what we've done last year. I might be wrong, they might have stepped up again. But if you haven't stepped up again and improved and done what you done last year for League One, it's a different animal you're wrestling with.
I'd say it's about gelling. And I think...
I take that point as well.
It takes time.
Yeah.
I believe in Kiefer Moore. They've got absolutely the right man for the way Wrexham play, because in very simplistic terms, they either knock it long to a big man who holds it up and he gets midfield runners off them, or they get it wide and crosses in.
You're one of the. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Wrexham. You're one of the richest teams, or you spent the most money in the league. I'm telling you, I'm just taking it from a fan's perspective, and some fans might shoot me down, but I guarantee you there'll be fans who agree with me that the style of football. Remember Neil Warnock?
Yeah.
So
How could I forget?
Fans love Neil for the promotion season, right? Absolutely adored him, and he done fantastic. And I used to say the problem will come when you stop winning. It's when you're winning. You're down the pub after the game and someone goes, oh, I don't like the style. Oh, shut up, we won. Like, what are you complaining about? Oh, he's always complaining. She's always complaining. We're winning. When you stop winning and you go into these home and away, and your performance, the level of football, what you see, because it's football's entertainment.
Yeah.
When you see that, is this...
But we both agreed it's too
ball
early
is made to play on the
make
floor.
any rash decisions after 5 games.
Listen,
maybe the next sort of block of
nothing's
games
too
before.
early, and I'm not saying I'm for or against the decision. It's nothing to do with me. All I'm saying is it's football, Rob. you know, like I'm sure people will be citing Ten Hag getting sacked after 2 games.
Well, hey,
right? If it's not
Chris Wilder's gone back to your
Sheffield
club,
United,
Sheffield United.
Right? Careful what you wish for, trying to move on.
Yeah.
But putting the wrong man in charge of the steering wheel. Like, that's all that was. I understand what they were doing.
Yeah.
But whoever's done the recruiting of sellers, like, that's the wrong man to move into that new transitional way of football.
Yeah.
It's a gradual thing. You can't just turn it on and become a great footballing team. This is the way the manager plays, and it's very structurally, and the way he plays is very similar to the last 2 or 3 seasons, right? Just with better players. Those players are better than what you're giving them.
No, my firm belief is that Phil Parkinson will.
He better, because I got him finishing top 6.
You got him top 6, and you know, for all we talk about this style of football, he's won 6 promotions as a manager, 3 consecutive promotions.
It doesn't matter
with Wrexham.
Yesterday,
no, it doesn't matter, but it does vindicate
do you know what Harry Bassett
the way
told
he
me?
plays.
Harry Bassett told me when I was a kid. Colin Todd told me when I was at Bolton, you'll enjoy it for 24 hours, Nath. Winning the league, broke points rep. Enjoy it for 24 hours. I was like, Gaffer, I'm going for like 6 weeks. About 24 hours. He said, no. Because tomorrow the question will be, can you do it in the Premier League?
Yeah.
Can we stay in the Premier League? Can we? So the doubters then come back in. Let you have your party tonight, but tomorrow we start again, right? How can we look at the negative side of what you've just done? That's just kind of one of those things you just have to take on the chin.
Well, let's hope Wrexham can pull
Listen,
it around at
I hope
Norwich
Parkinson stays in charge, because he's been outrageously good for him.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
But then again, I would say, well, Phil, like, you need to adapt then. You know, like we were speaking about Newport County and Dave, and saying simplify things for your players. Well, it can go the other way as well, mind. So Phil Parkinson, I don't know whether he coaches, he could bring in a better coach to coach a team. Because as players, we want to play best football. We don't want to, simplify it.
Well, I still think it's too early to make any rash decisions.
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to give you a...
And talk about smiles on faces playing football. We'll come to Swansea later, but Cardiff, this is being recorded on Wednesday afternoon. Cardiff opened up their Virtue Trophy campaign, Football League trophy, to mere mortals like us. First time they've been in it for over 20 years, of course. But they won at Exeter. Callum Robinson scored his first goal of the season.
Yeah. Totally new team.
Cian Ashford got a red card.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it Cardiff now unbeaten in 10 league and cup games at the start of the season. Best run since Mick McCarthy's 11. And that's after a 1-1 draw at Stockport, where, by all accounts, they got absolutely battered.
Hey.
And Yusuf Salek scored in 90 plus 7 minutes.
Hey. The game's not finished till the whistle goes. I would say, well, looking at Cardiff, what impressed me about last night was that it was almost a completely changed team. Lawler came in after international duty.
Dylan Lawler.
Yeah,
don't get me going.
Yeah,
he just looks, even in the scrap of Exeter on
listen,
a Tuesday night.
Let me just tell you, he's a great potential, right?
Yes.
But when you step up the championship level, it changes, right? And when Dylan does that, and I'll say to you, he can play Premier League. 100%,
he's potential at the moment.
Potentially.
And he knows that, to be fair.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But like I would say to him, work on your upper body strength a little, work on your aerial prowess a little, and work on your organisational skills and stuff like that. And definitely work on your first 10 yards.
But it was interesting at Stockport, Lawler and Capaccio, who'd been on Welsh duty, both earned their first caps, Ronan Capaccio and Lawler, were benched to start for
rested.
Perry Ng and Callum Chambers.
Rested.
Yeah, well, they were on the bench. But they came on and the subs paid off because of the goal in the 90 plus 7 minute from Yusuf Salek.
Yeah.
I wonder whether that tells a tale.
The point I was making, what I like about Cardiff and what BBM has done.
BBM now, is it?
Yeah, I mean, BBM, But what I like about it is that team that played last night was almost totally different.
It was.
To the one that played Luton. Now, all of a sudden, Cardiff, like I said, they've had so many players. Like it was, sooner or later, you're going to stumble across a manager who could do this. Right? You've had like 15 managers in like 6 days or something like that, right? So eventually you're going to get a manager who can do this. But they've gone through manager after manager after manager. Now they've got someone who has clearly sat down, identified player by player who he wants, who he doesn't want. And he's got 2 teams now in League One. That's how many Cardiff City, that's how many players they got to hand. And they've cut a load at the start of the season.
They have,
right?
yeah.
So they had a ridiculous 35, 40 man squad when you looked at it. They had players all over the place, especially with the crop of 8, 9 youngsters. What he's been able to do is trim it. And now, listen, that team that won last night on top of the team that's been winning, now if you're BBM, you can, I've got a squad.
You bring depth to the squad, yeah.
Massive depth, right? For League One, that's huge depth. People want 2 players for every position in the Premier League and don't get it. To have it in League One, and he's got that and then some, listen, they're in a great position.
Yeah.
You would say the team that started last night was probably more experienced than the team that's been playing and winning. Bet the average age was up to 23 at least.
Oh, I don't know. There are an awful lot of youngsters. There are an awful lot of youngsters.
Older,
Callum Robinson, David Turmo were in
very
there.
older.
Yeah, you're
sorry,
right.
Lads.
The other interesting thing is that with the draw at Stockport, they still haven't conceded in the league from open play.
Yeah.
The 2 goals against is from the penalty spot.
Mm-hmm.
What does that say about a team? Because, you will know it's not just about defenders, is it? It's about the whole
set pieces,
whole unit,
everything.
Yeah. I think that says something for them. It'll be tested this Saturday because it's first against second. It's Bradford are in town at the Cardiff City Stadium.
Well, I don't think there's many teams bigger and more physical than Luton.
No.
Right? Luton is still on that, what they went up with and came back down with. Cardiff, it was. I don't want to say easy, but it was kind of easy.
Yeah, and the other last thing on Cardiff, 3rd time they've scored after 90 minutes this season in 10 games.
That's an old habit from Neil Warnock they used to have, remember?
Isaac Davis's winner at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And Yusuf Salak at Stockport. And there was another game where they scored late.
So it says 2 things. You keep going to the end, but we spoke about this last week with Newport. You got the fitness level to be able to go to the end. So important. What do we say after 6, 7 games? You're up to top speed. Scoring in 96, 97, like Liverpool, people talking about Liverpool and their late wins.
Yeah.
That's how fit you are. That's credit to the manager and his coaching staff, right? That your peak fitness, as you get the 5, 6, 7 games, starts to, and that peak now will last right through to March, April.
Okay, well, exciting times. We talk about smiles and the fact that 500 fans went to Exeter for a Football League trophy
5,500 went to Scunthorpe United, mate.
Yeah, well, that was league when you were playing. This
Still,
is Football
Scunthorpe
League
United,
trophy.
5,500.
Yeah,
they're just incredible.
I remember.
I always say away fans for any club.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I used to love playing at home. But when you go away with an army, and no matter where you go, you've got a good solid army behind you. It's even now, it's
a little shiver went through
I love it.
Nathan Blake was shivering then, for those listening.
Yeah, I love it.
And this is the Rob and Blakey Commentary Box podcast, loud and clear on Welsh football, recorded at the University of South Wales campus, Atrium campus in Cardiff, with the support of the journalism and media courses. Don't forget, you can find us on all the main social media platforms: X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, of course, and wherever else you get your podcasts, including Spotify. Enjoy, follow, subscribe. That's my advice to you. And you can catch up with the first 7 episodes, including episode 2 with Jess Fishlock and episode 6 with the man for all clubs, David Giles, and Sean Cousins. If you want to get in touch, X and Instagram are probably the best platforms to do it on.
When we getting Sean and Giles back on, I'd like to be here next time.
Funny enough, I've been in touch with Sean today for something we're going to talk about in a moment.
Okay.
So a bit of patience, please, Nathan.
Sorry.
I will also tell you that I watched grassroots football on Saturday. It was quite an event, and I've been getting back to my journalism bit to do a bit of work on that. So for the supporters of Llandysul and Pencader, stay tuned. And Central Wales FA, you stay tuned as well, because we keep saying we represent and we want to cover all of Welsh football. We are the living embodiment of it today, so stay tuned for that. Yeah. Swansea City. Now, we're recording this on Wednesday before they play Big Angie's Nottingham Forest in the Carabao Cup. So we don't know what happened there. But on Saturday, they were 2-1 up against Hull and conceded late on. And we talk about substitutes making a difference at Stockport. I've noticed since that, there was a lot of criticism of Alan Sheehan's subs. So let me go through them for you. Vidal came on for Franco after 90 minutes. Inusa replaced Yom out wide on 64. Yalkoi substituted for Liam Cullen at 71 minutes. And Jan Vipotnik, who scored again, substituted for Adam Eder after 64 minutes. Some of that may have been about injury and fitness levels, coming back from international duty. Do we pay too much attention to data and science and maybe sometimes, not on the way the game is?
Sometimes, yeah. I always say science can... If you've got a scientist will tell you, like, without science, like, football is non-existent. Science wants to take it to the very edge. They want to build a new Frankenstein and all that. You know what I mean? And I always say it's too far. It is a mix of, yes, you can have the data and what have you. Perfect. But, like, the data, I always say the data doesn't tell you about Rob's personality. The data could be he's the best player for my dressing room, bar none. But as a person, he could be the worst player that I'm going to drop into my dressing room. Data doesn't tell you that, does it?
No.
But we know how important it is, right?
Yeah, which is why clubs look at, if they do their due diligence on players, it'll be more than just data, won't it? It'll be personality, character.
Yeah, but also, I would say personality, character, but that data. So I would say if you're a striker and the data says, you score a goal every game, right? That's great. But then the knockout, say you're losing every one of those games, right? And the reason that you're losing that game, because as a striker, you're not working hard enough. You're not starting my defensive sort of press from the front.
Yeah.
The data says you're great. But my eyes tell me something different. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a mix. You can't just say, like, even like when people go...
How many times were you prearranged to come off? Coming back for an injury?
I think yes, suddenly. I don't know.
Oh, no. I think if I look back through my records, there were times... In fact, I remember one memorable occasion when you were subbed at half-time, playing for Cardiff, and you went home. So, which we've talked about on the podcast before.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, for a man who has never subbed,
who wrote that story? Who wrote that story?
Yeah, it's one of my better ones.
Yeah, right.
So,
I beg to
how many times you understand managers doing that, though, don't you?
What?
So, saying there was a Cardiff player last night.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I really don't. I really don't understand a manager going, he's coming off at 60 minutes.
But you got the medical department in your ear saying he's got to come off after 60.
Okay,
he's got to come off
I'll blow medical departments away every time with, have you ever understood what happens medically? Do you know what happens to a person or a player when they score a goal? I can be shattered 65 minutes. If I score a goal, something happens. I remember Harry Bassett saying to me, if we could pocket that, if we could package that up and give it to players, like, it's unbelievable. You've seen it. We've seen how many times. Well, it is a prime example of recent. Wales, Belgium, Wales. First half, we look out on our feet. Dead. Get one goal just for, then a second, all of a sudden, Wales is gone up here. Belgium's gone down here. That's not fitness. Both international teams, both very fit. Premier League, all other leagues around Europe, right? It's what it's an adrenaline boost every time you score.
It's what they say, innit?
Right?
Goals give you.
You can't help
games.
it. You can't help it. Right? It does change games, and that energy. I always just say, when a crowd is like with you, and they're like that's why United fans sing attack, 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 right? Because they used to, when they got you on the back foot, it's all over. You could be. I remember them doing Spurs once. I think they were 3-0 down, come back and whoop them 5-3. You feel it as a player. You know it. And you see the opposite player, you see him wilt. Especially when you're at home and you've got your fans. Or if you're at their ground and all of a sudden their fans go flat, your fans go up and they're on the back, you got them on the back foot. So science is one thing, but you there's so many other things you've got to look at. Rob.
And just quickly, Vipotnik and Ronaldo now are scoring goals.
I wouldn't have taken him off, see. I always say when strikers are scoring goals, man, leave them.
Yeah.
Because like, if I score one, I'm going to score two. That's how we think.
And just quickly, where does the arrival of Ida with Vipotnik scoring goals, where does that leave Liam Cullen?
Good question. Do you know what? You've kind of curveballed me there because I never really thought about that. But can Sheehan fit Vipotnik and another in? Because now you've got like an option to play two up top. You can't tell me 4-4-2 don't work. We've seen Canada do it brilliantly the other day against Wales. You've got the option to play two wide, one down the middle. You've got the option to play two with one deeper. You've kind of got, I don't call Cullen a striker. I call him like a sort of a false 9.
Yeah, floating 10.
Floating,
yeah, I say.
So you've got two
and I really like him in that position because I think he's quite intelligent as a player goes. And there was a time at Swansea where Liam was easily the best finisher. Well, Vipotnik comes in, starting to click now, got a goal on international duty, as we talked about last week as well. He's in the goals, and they're bringing Adam Ida for anything between £6 and £7 million.
Yeah, and it makes a statement, right? And it also, you bring in a striker, and your striker's kick starts to score goals. It's like, you got competition for places. That's the effect it's had is what it's supposed to have. Bringing a striker, £6 million, he's going to play.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't spend the money. But what it's done now, it's given the manager a bit of a headache because all of a sudden, Vipotnik is.
Well, from a Wales point of view, we still hope that Liam Cullen has a place, not just off the bench, that there's a place for him.
I think that's undoubted.
He's a player,
Bella's
obviously, Craig Bellamy likes his profile, likes his running. He's big on, we talk about stats, but he is really big on that sort of profile player, isn't he? And that's why he keeps picking him. And he does okay for Wales, I think. Doesn't look out of place. So we shall see what happens there. And hopefully by the time people hear and see this, they'll have...
Would you pick Vipotnik and Ida together? Or would you go with Vipotnik?
It's a while since I've seen Ida play. I thought Vipotnik and Cullen could work. But clearly there's a feeling within that club that they needed someone like Ida. You always need 3-4 strikers. In fact, you can't have too many strikers as far as I'm concerned. Because you being a striker, you'd know that. So it's going to be really interesting, really interesting. We talked a lot last week about Newport County, who put an end to Stop the Rot.
Glad for Dave Hughes to get that draw. That was massive.
Ended 6 League and Cup losses on the bounce. But as much as anything at Newport, given how your sort of your medication for your prescription for the ills of Newport went widespread last week, picked up by other places, and saying your advice for Newport. Well, just after the pod came out, Hugh Jenkins issued a statement.
Nah, Hugh, I wasn't digging you right.
No.
Did he say Nathan Blake as a...
No. It was, and I think it was in the offing.
I'm just trying to help you, Hugh, man.
It was in the offing before. But he said that the club, the summer changes had allowed the club to reset, move forward with renewed optimism for this long season ahead. Here's the bit that caught the eye.
So this is why you want me on my phone. Yeah, go on.
In my opinion, the squad of players we now have is collectively much stronger and an extremely talented group compared to when I joined the club in 2023. Belief in what we are...
Whoa. Rewind. Just say that again a minute. Did I hear right that he's saying the squad is better now than it was in 2023?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, carry on.
So I think, if I got my dates right, I think he came in late 23, and then it all went through at the start of 24. So he pays tribute. He said he thinks coach of team, Dave Hughes, Wayne Hatswell, Lee Kendall, experienced football, big assets. And then he said, belief in what we're doing must be non-negotiable. If we're to achieve success, while we can respect our opponents, we need to fear no one as we move forward. With a consistent level of performances, I am confident the results will flow.
Let me just say this first of all. They're just words, right? You can talk all the word. Well, you can talk the talk, right? They're words. It's different when you're on the pitch and you're running down the one sideline and Newport fans are so frustrated because you've lost 6 in a row that they're nailing their own player. And then you're asking that player to go out and provide and play at his best. It's understanding, right? You've got to, it's not if you've not played the game, you don't know. But you're in the game, you're around the game. It's okay saying those things, but you've got a bunch of young kids as well, mind. They can't handle, when the Newport fans, we always say, is raucous there, right? It's always a great atmosphere. But when it's on the back foot, when they're on the back foot and they can see, they're not stupid. This is a club that's been out of business.
Yeah, quite.
Right? So you've got people who are 70, 80 who've seen the whole shebang. Right? So it's okay. These are words, but I've lived in Newport since I was 4 years old. I went to Newport and I was there as doing my work experience with the likes of Normal Parcel and others when they went out of business, right? And if not for a certain man, we know who, bringing them back or fighting to keep them, who knows what would have happened?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
These are words, right? And I'd say it's different if you're on the pitch. Asking an 18, 19-year-old kid to remain confident, receive the ball when your back's to play, when we're playing out the 18-yard box, when you know the player I'm playing against is stronger than me, quicker than me, and he's got a better level of intelligence than me, but my manager is still asking me to go and get the ball because my chairman's saying we're better than what we... It's not realistic, mate. I just... You know what I mean?
So they've stopped the rot.
But did you say the team is better than 2020?
That's what when he joined the club in 2023. Now, if my memory serves me right, he joined sort of into one season, then the takeover went through, but he was effectively...
Okay, so the end of 2023, I think this was a final game they played against Crewe, 2-2. The starting lineup was Townsend, Norman, Baker, Demetriou, Lewis, Charlesley, Bennett, Wildig, Evans, Caban Rye up front alongside Bogle.
Yeah.
Would that team be considered stronger than today's team? Because I think that's a stronger team by quite some distance.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Do you
know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not going to get.
So it's just they're words, and I understand what what Hugh's trying to do is build a sort of confidence. But the only thing that builds confidence is winning, mate.
Yeah, well, at least talk about, we said they needed experience. Corey Baker-Richardson delivered the goal at Tranmere, the late equaliser, another late goal.
Mm-hmm.
But they've got Gillingham, who,
For
along
the
with
fancy
Cardiff,
team.
for one of
Yeah,
those
flying.
undefeated clubs. So we shall see. Let's move on then.
So before we do you agree? Do you think that team I just named there
I think it's better than this one, yeah.
by some distance, right?
Yeah,
you would
I
say?
agree.
Yeah?
Well, obviously, they had Will Evans. Now, Hugh Jenkins sold Will Evans, but everybody understood why he sold him.
Yeah.
It's what you do. It's the Hugh Jenkins way. But also, they had decent money for him off Mansfield.
But I keep saying, I do know, well, I'm 95% sure that Hugh was trying to get a training ground because he knows football clubs live and die by their training ground.
Yeah.
I always say it, when I signed for Wolves, it was like, this is the training ground.
Well, they use the USW training ground now,
Right.
which is a massive upgrade on. I remember speaking
but
with Graham
it's
Coughlin on
not-
times
I'm
thinking,
not meaning about...
and he would say, we don't know where we're going this morning.
Exactly, but that's not my point. The point is, if Hugh is under the impression that he can't invest in a training ground to improve the club and move the club forward, because it does massively, and it also attracts bigger name players. If you can't do that, which I know is a frustration, I've said, with the charity, we've been looking at this for 10, 11 years, and I know what the blockers are. If the council doesn't get his act together and say, right, we're going to open up the opportunity for you to buy that area and build your own training ground, not rent it off Newport Live, buy the land and build and develop and grow, because it's for the town. The city will develop from
the
it.
whole thing about Rodney Parade training grounds.
My point is, if he's being blocked or stopped from doing that, why will you then invest money?
Yeah.
Because you've known from Swansea, new stadium, new training ground, they got the new stadium, then they went new training ground, and he would have seen
The progress they made.
Well, you don't sign players like Michu if you're training on a park.
No. And the whole, and this is for another podcast, the whole structure of what's happening in Newport. Newport as a sporting city is under duress now because of the WRU looking at whether they keep 2 regions, 3 regions, 4 regions, whether they go that way. And it intimately affects Newport County because they got a lease at Rodney Parade.
To Newport Council, nothing makes money in sport like football.
No.
Why would you hold that back? And if you think you're not, I tell you what, come on the podcast, let's have a chat then, right? Because I know a lot. Right? So there you are. There's an offer for someone Newport who's in the council, because I know I've been at many dues and what have you. There's many of them who are quick to go there, have their photo opportunity. Come on the podcast and tell us why Newport can get a training ground.
Okay, well, Newport Council, the offer is there from you. I'm sure there are listeners and watchers within the local authority. Yeah. We'd love to talk to you about it. And come and sit on the same settee as Nathan Blake. I promise he doesn't bite.
Yeah.
Occasionally. Well, not often.
Not until cameras are off.
Loads came out of the FAW briefing. One of the other things that came out was summer football for domestic football. Now, let me quickly run through. Carnarvon still top Cymru Prem.
Yeah, who's coming though?
TNS
who's
won,
on their heels.
Beat Llanelli 5-0. Still without a point. Actually, Britain Ferry lost to Carnarvon, but they were 2 up in that game. But then 2 goals from Adam Davis helped the revival. Davis is top of the goal scorers in the league.
Yeah, he's flying. He started
7 goals with Jordan Williams of TNS. TNS boss Craig Harrison celebrated his 400th game in charge. Get this, Nate.
Congrats, mate. That's
9 league titles, 6 Welsh Cup titles with TNS, 5 Welsh League Cup titles, and a Welsh League Cup with Colin.
That's a rubbish record.
Fair play. And he copes with Mike Harris, bless him.
No, that is you do need a trophy for that one.
And I got to mention this as well. In the north, the northern division, okay? We cover all of Welsh football. Holywell Town beat Gresford Athletic 8-4. 8-4. Second highest scoring
But
game ever
Athletic
in the
are well
Cymru
pleased
North.
you've mentioned that.
Yeah, but Holywell was 7-1 up at half-time. And they're the first team to score 7 in the first half of a Cymru North game. And they lead the Cymru North with 21 points from 7 games. And last Friday, I mean, Cymru North is the place to be, mate.
Yeah, yeah.
Buckley Town and Holyhead Hotspur played a 5-all draw.
Oh, I would like
What's
to be
the
at
biggest
that
scoring game you've been involved in?
game. I think Wolves, Leicester, I think it might have been 4-3.
4-3, is that it?
I think we were 3-0 down and we beat them 4-3 first.
Well, you've never been in a 5-all or a...
No.
You sure? You couldn't remember being subbed a few minutes ago.
No, 5-5. No. Never
Wow,
been
oh,
in
that is extraordinary. Summer football then, it's come up now and then. They are looking at it again. It's part of the whole restructuring of domestic football. Talking about 16 teams in the Cymru Prem. That's going to happen. I've always thought, and I've upset loads of people with this, I've always thought summer football or a sort of hybrid of it, maybe shadow the rugby league season, which you know better than I with your connection to rugby league.
To an end now.
Yeah, so it would be what? February to October, November.
Yeah.
I think that works on so many ways in that we rely a lot for our coefficients in UEFA on our teams doing well. TNS were trailblazers last year, getting to, in the Conference League, getting through to Christmas. But actually, so many of our Welsh teams suffer because they're playing friendlies a few weeks after they finish the season, ready for European games in June. And I just think it makes sense to go from February, March, all the way through to October, November.
So then what would you do for the teams who play Champions League in June?
Well, because they're then 2 months into their season.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I know it's not, they're not, I think TNS are full-time. The rest are very much part-time. But there are full-time people working at these clubs now, which is another thing Noel Mooney talked about in his briefings, just to professionalise setups at clubs. But do you not think summer football should be given a chance? And the other thing is, there are 5 clubs who play in another system. In other words, Wrexham, Swansea, Cardiff, Newport, Merthyr, in another system, who all consistently have bigger crowds, in some cases, much bigger crowds. So they've got to look at, say, Friday night, which they do, but also summer football, where they wouldn't have that sort of problem.
I understand what you're saying, but let's take this summer, for instance.
Yeah.
Would you want to be playing football in that heat through May, June, July, August? Because it was like 36, 38. And we always say the hottest day of the season is like start of the season or the end of the season. Always boiling hot. What footballers always say, can't stand playing in heat. When we went to Qatar, what happened? We had air conditioning inside the stadium to bring down the temperature. So I understand what you're saying. Football is not a stop-start game. Obviously, set pieces, it stops. It's like they say, oh, why don't VAR work like it works in rugby? Well, partly because the VAR people don't really know what they're doing, but also because rugby is a stop-start game. Stop for a scrum, 2 minutes. Ooh, didn't pack down right. Start again, 3 minutes. You can lose 5-6 minutes on a scrum in rugby. You can't do that in football.
Oh, I do. Goalkeepers go down when there's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
it.
that's what they're trying. They'll come a rule, they'll stamp it out now next year, right? Because it's obvious. But my point is, playing at the height of summer football,
you're not for
it. Listen, it makes sense. Yeah, like you'd say, well, you do away with plastic pitches if you're further up north. You have a problem, same with Scotland. If you're further up north and you can go do away with plastic pitches, summer pitches, they'll all be rock hard. They were like AstroTurf anyway. But I'm like, I don't think it's something that players would go for. or
Okay,
want
well,
to
shall
go
we put
for?
it out there?
It's a great
What do
question.
people think about summer football
for
the domestic leagues?
Great
or
for the
even
beach.
the top tier of, bit awkward if the North and the South are not going into that. But love to hear what you think about summer football. So contact us at Robin Blakey on X, on Instagram, on Blue Sky. And
It's nothing like a rainy night on a Tuesday in Yorkshire, is there?
well, yeah. And that's one thing that I didn't mention to you is that Noel Mooney mentioned how many games are postponed because of the weather problems they
That's what I
get
said.
in the
Well,
winter.
the weather,
That would
they go
stop
the 4
that.
Gs, don't they?
So I'm really interested to see what and hear what you think.
But did not answer the question. Like, what did you think about, like for instance, and we're told the climate's getting hotter and hotter and hotter.
Yeah.
Right? So imagine it's hotter next summer than it was this summer.
I'd rather be warm in a football game than freezing cold.
No, but you don't get freezing cold.
Oh, I do.
But that's because you're a goalkeeper and you stood still.
No, that's because I'm a reporter. I'm watching games in the freezing
Oh,
cold.
okay. I thought
and
you
I'm
meant
sat
from-
next to you often in your polar jacket.
Will I wrap up?
And that's in August.
Yeah. You fool.
It's true, though.
I'm
I'm there. I've been in games where I've been in short sleeves and you're wrapped up as if you're going to the Antarctic.
Yeah, but you got that little Neanderthal going on thing. You can walk around in like grass
Honestly.
skirts and still be fine. A barefoot, you'll be fine, right?
I'll take that as a compliment.
Not me, though. You know what I mean? I'm from the Caribbean, bro. You know what I mean? I like the heat.
Since when has Ely been in the Caribbean? There we go. Right.
I'm built for heat, not cold, but I still think playing football in the summer is not for me.
Okay.
Because you don't get cold in winter, sorry.
Okay,
Even
well-
when it's snowing. You're running.
Let's put it out there. That'll be our poll. Do you favour summer football for domestic leagues in Wales? Love to hear your thoughts on that.
I think I'm
Make
right.
sure you send us a text or a tweet. Not a text. A tweet, as we'd say.
Yeah.
Because we really want to
I
read
think
some
I'm
of
right.
them out next week.
I think I'm right.
Yeah, well, you often think you're right when
Yeah,
you're wrong.
Yeah.
But it happens. I've learned to cope with it.
Come
now.
on, get that poll going, right? Because I love being right and he hates being wrong. Hates it.
Let's move on to the Adran League. And this is where I needed to contact Sian Cousins, our guest from a couple of pods ago. If you've not seen her, she's brilliant on with David
Well, she'll be
Jones.
on in the next couple of weeks. We'll
She
have her
will
back
be,
on,
yeah.
right?
First victory for Aberystwyth, who beat TNS, who beat Cardiff in the first week. Cardiff won 5-1 against Britain Ferry. Not a great weekend all round for Britain Ferry, Clansall. Wrexham beat Barry 3-2. Swansea's game against Pontypridd United was abandoned on 62 minutes. Why?
You're going to say weather.
Because it absolutely emptied down on Sunday afternoon. Because I was driving back
So are
from
you
West
relating
Wales.
that to the last point, are you?
No, I'm saying that. Well, yes, yeah, that's
Because
good thought. You're on my wavelength.
It's not
Which is
even
very
there,
worrying.
you're not even there. I just opened my
No,
big
no,
mouth.
I'm saying, which is why I had to speak to Sian Cousins.
Yeah.
They're looking at replaying it again.
Okay, you got to, yeah.
So, yeah, because it was 0-0 after 62 minutes. So, there we are. Adran League.
Remember Cardiff, Rotherham Cardiff?
Yeah, I do.
Me and Poy's done it, having the sweet,
I'll be Mark Poyser, the
Yeah.
BBC Wales commentator.
having the sweet water off the pitch and all that. It
Yeah.
happens,
Yeah.
but it doesn't happen often.
Well, it does. You'd be surprised how often it happened. But we'll get Noel Mooney on about that soon. Quick mention of Merthyr. They beat Tor Point in the FA Cup. And I should tell you, we're doing a special on Merthyr because it's their player reunion day on Saturday.
Oh, wicked. I love that.
And so I'm hoping to go up and get a few views, and there'll be a special package on our podcast next week.
So I'd
about
speak up for
Merthyr.
my old teammates. It seems like Cardiff are the only ones who have zero or very, very little engagement with their former players. And I know the fans hold some of those players from like my era and before in such high esteem. Like, it's great to have like a bar full of ex-players, and someone might do something, like a kid might have been ill and you present him with a ball on the pitch. He was his hero or his dad's hero. Like the community spirit a football club can create is so huge, so massive.
I
so
think they're trying to
important.
do more of that at Cardiff. But
With
what I will
Cardiff.
say about Merthyr, it's appropriate
It's like
this
15
weekend.
years too late. It's like you should never have gone away from Newport Park and not done it anyway.
Yeah.
It's almost like you wanted to start a new club and out with the old, in with the new. But hey, I'm not going to be in my bonnet about it.
No, not much. Yeah, well, it'll be the sound of the FAW soon.
I'll be there myself.
Their headquarters.
Yeah.
What I should say, though, is that it's appropriate that a lot of them are getting together this weekend because it was September the 16th in 1987 that Merthyr played Atalanta and beat Atalanta.
Beat them,
in the Cup Winners' Cup. I was there. It's a long time ago.
I
was
wasn't
there.
born.
I'd actually switched from covering Newport, who they beat in the Welsh Cup final, to Merthyr, and my first trip was with...
I wonder what it's like to lose in a Welsh Cup final.
You never did you?
I don't have a clue, really. I only once played in 2-1-2.
Okay. But yeah, good job you're not boasting anyway. So anyway, really looking forward to that, and hopefully we can do them justice next week on the Rob and Blakey podcast.
We could have got someone in to help them like advertise it more.
Oh no, they've advertised.
Well.
They're getting people there. Don't worry. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the likes of Kevin Rogers, who played against Atalanta, and it's always good when they get together because that team in particular from the 80s, so good. Every time they get together, I keep saying it, it's like they've never been away from each other. I know that happens to you in certain teams.
Bond, winning, that's what winning does.
Keeps it together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I told you about the rain coming back from West Wales on Sunday afternoon, which brings me, I say it again, we are a podcast that covers all of Welsh football. So on Saturday night, I watched the Central Wales FA Emrys Morgan Cup tie, Saturday afternoon, between two teams in the Cost Cutter Ceredigion League Division 1.
And?
Are you familiar with the Cost Cutter?
I must admit I'm not.
No. So anyway, it was Pencader at home to Llandysul United. And I just happened to be staying in a B&B opposite the ground. And my partner's daughter's boyfriend is a Llandysul player. So I will declare an interest now.
Okay.
It was a great time. I put some pictures on my social media. It was great. It was a really good game.
There's a big butt coming up.
There is a big butt coming up. Really good game. Pencader took the lead. Llandysul rescued it to win it.
Llandysul at home or away?
Away.
Okay.
It's only 3 miles.
Okay.
Down the road.
Oh, so it's a derby.
Oh, it was a proper derby.
Oh, I love it.
It was some meaty challenges going in, but nothing untoward. Then it got to 2-2. Then Llandysul took the lead 3-2. Must mention Morgan, to be very fair, Morgan Mabley of Pencader scored 2 goals. His second one was a beauty. Beauty. Anyway, they get a penalty, Pencader, losing 3-2. The Llandysul goalkeeper, Seb Heelwood.
Oh, they're at home, right?
Pencader at home, yeah.
And they're losing 3-2.
Yeah.
This is where I've seen it go pear-shaped. Is it a 3-2 penalty, which is a bit fishy?
No, it was a penalty.
Advantage. Oh, it was? Okay.
It was a penalty.
Okay.
So Kluge, Luke Evans and Jones put Llandysul in front. So I don't know all their first names. But Seb Heelwood, the goalkeeper, saved the penalty. Really good save. Really good save. So just after that, a very meaty challenge went into midfield. And I won't say a brawl, it was more handbags, but there were plenty of people involved. And the game was abandoned after 87 minutes.
I think that's more than handbags, mate, if it's game's abandoned.
Well, there were a lot of people getting involved.
Yeah,
people
so the referee can't, there's too many scraps going on for him to, it's like a fire, right?
I don't want to focus so much on that.
Yeah.
But I did say on social media it was a dramatic end. It was. It was a brilliant afternoon. It was nice. I'm not being patronising. It was nice not to have a press box and to just be able to walk around the field.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Because we don't get much chance.
Well, I do. I stop at Albion. It's just off the M4.
Yeah.
Atlas Road. And sometimes I'll just stop and watch a game.
So I was out with the Llandysul players that night. Great night. Family do, as I say. But this week I had to put my journalism hat back on. And I rang the Central Wales FA. I said, what happens about this? And turns out the gentleman I spoke to was actually an FAW councillor. So I went to the top. And I can reveal that there is a management committee meeting this Thursday. This pod is being recorded on Wednesday to decide whether the result stands or the game is replayed. That's the hot news for Pencader and Llandysul United
Can I ask
players.
what you think should happen? Got to replay it, surely.
Well, 87 minutes.
Oh, but it's abandoned.
Yeah,
You're both at it.
Yeah.
You've got to replay it.
Maybe.
Plus, it makes the game even bigger.
Maybe. Well, it does make a game even bigger. And if they do have a replay, I recommend you try and get down there to watch because it was good value entertainment.
How did your girlfriend's daughter's boyfriend play?
He didn't because he's off to Australia as we are speaking.
Oh, okay.
And so he didn't want to get injured before the holiday of a lifetime.
What?
Yeah. Oh, it's all here. It's all here. I ask anybody, where else do you get this on a podcast? So anyway, just to give credit to both, I really enjoyed the occasion.
They must have given you free food or something.
No.
Free drink?
No, nothing. There were no facilities there, really.
Tuck shop?
No, I didn't see one. If I had, I would have been there. But I will say that for respect to both sides, this Saturday, Llandysul United, who are fourth in the table, are away to St Dogmaels. And Pencader United are home to the only team below them, that's Maesglas FC. And of course, Cremach, as you know, Cremach.
Maesglas.
No, Maesglas, it's West Wales.
Cremach
are league leaders, with Llandysul just behind Newcastle Emlyn and Felinfach. I think that is...
Felinfach.
No, not Felinfach, Felinfach.
I know, but I know.
Where the ales come from.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's Felinfoil.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think... And if we're looking for adverts, if you're looking to sponsor us, Felinfoil Ales, then
that's
please
what
get in touch.
What's that? There's a few Welsh beers. Actually, someone asked me about it. Yeah.
So we have robinblakey@gmail is our email address to get hold of us. And you've been hopefully enjoying the Robin Blakey podcast, Commentary Box podcast. We are loud and clear on Welsh football. And this week, we've been loud and clear on all different standards of Welsh football. Enjoy, follow, subscribe. And we'll see you next week.
Peace out.